What's going on, guys? It's Brandon back here again for another BFR. It's been a while since the last Hawks game. A lot of news coming into this game. While we have three teams clinched in the playoffs out of 16 now, with Colorado and Carolina being added to the mix. Carolina wins last night to get to 100 points. Florida and Colorado already at 100 points. Colorado first in the league. No teams yet in this division. Only these teams have been eliminated. And we're entering the final stretch of the season. Game 71 on April 7th at 7:30 p.m. against the Seattle Kraken, the Hawks faced off against the newest team in the league. And there were a bunch of news coming into this game. Gallagher called out Stützle for diving. Getzlaf is retiring at the end of this year, one of my childhood players, and from that historic 2003 draft. People wonder who's going to be the last player that's still remaining, still playing at from that draft, and you never know. Justin Fields and a bunch of the Chicago Bears were there, so Chicago fans, you know all about Justin Fields and the Bears. Hossa had signed a one-day contract for today to be because his contract had been traded to the Coyotes, and then his contract just expired. That 13-year deal or 12-year deal he got back when the Hawks first signed him. And then news came out since Hossa was in the building. It was his tribute video. It was his legacy night. And Hossa's number is going to be retired with the Chicago Blackhawks, shockingly. Eddie Olczyk said it during the in-between intermissions. I don't remember if it was the first or second. But to be fair, I was shocked. I didn't think Hossa played here long enough. He was only here from the very end of 2009 until 2017. So he didn't play here like his entire career like the guys like Makita, like Hull when he was here. Savard played most of his career here except for like 3 years. Then you have Esposito played his entire career except for Montreal, which he played one game for them basically. Peter Palat, Glenn Hall, he won the Cup in '61 for them. There's those kind of guys. And Hossa's going to have his number up there, shockingly. So once Taze and Kane retire, and along with Keith, they'll get their numbers up there. And yeah, so that was very interesting to see that, and not many people thought Hossa would have his number retired just because of that. So Hawks lose 2-0 going out of the game. They move to 24, 36, and 11. Lankinen saves 29 out of 31. Grubauer saves 29 out of 29 in the shutout. Shots were 31 to 29 Seattle. Hits were 28 to 22 Seattle. Faceoffs were 23 to 18 Chicago. Chicago on the power play 0 for 4. Absolutely dreadful, especially the 5-on-3. We're going to get to that. And Seattle goes 0 for 1. Reichel and Gustafsson were in. Stillman and Entwistle were out. Kane had a chance saved early. Reese Johnson missed a one-on-one chance. It was a very slow start. Good save by Lankinen on Eberle. Hawks weren't controlling the play early. Seth Jones had a big hit on Donskoy. Larson had a clear hook on DeMarcus and no call. And then that was it really in the first. And the funny thing about that was the shots were 17-3 for Seattle at the end of the first. They weren't dangerous chances really at all. If maybe they had one pretty good chance, like the Eberle chance, and those were just like point shots. They were just from the side shots. They weren't very dangerous shots. So Lankinen having an excellent night to start off the night. And then at 19:13 of the second, so right at 47 seconds into the second period, it's Alex Wenberg, his 10th of the year from Donato and Eberle, on a fantastic move. It makes it 1-0. He goes around Caleb Jones. There's a great deke around Lankinen. It was a beautiful goal from Wenberg. Then Kubalik misses a chance. Reichel had a chance that was denied. And then the game is physically picking up. Taze missed a wide open net. And then Dunn goes awkwardly into the boards while he's tied up with Lafferty. And Reichel then, Reichel couldn't stop. He was going after the puck. So Dunn's down, and then Reichel's like right in front of him. So he goes flying over Dunn. Reichel was fine. Dunn was not. I didn't remember hearing his name after he went down and when he came off the ice, but he might have. I don't recollect it. Then at 3:59, it's a Seattle penalty to Donato for interference, which 4 seconds later, Seattle penalty to Soucy for high sticking, which was a double minor. Both were drawn by Radish. So Radish drew 2 penalties there. 6 total minutes in penalty time as Soucy's was a double minor as there was blood on Radish. And so they have a minute and 56 seconds of 5-on-3. And it was the worst power play. They didn't get a single shot on the 5-on-3, and Seattle was the one controlling the play on the 5-on-3. And it was just awful. And Radish, on that first play that Donato caught the interference, it was an awful call. Radish was the one that was doing the interference, not Donato. So that's an awful call by the referee. And then the Hawks have some chances late in the period after the penalties expire, but to no avail. We go to the third, and the Hawks start on the power play for 5 seconds. And then at 19:13, it's a Chicago penalty to Kubalik for hooking, which would be killed. Doc has a near break shorthanded, and then Kubalik has a near break after he's out of the box. Lankinen, huge save on Gord, and then Lankinen stops a Donato breakaway. Kane hits the post. Seth Jones hit the post on a power play. As at 7:57, it's a Seattle penalty to Soucy once again, with getting his own getting entirely on his own 6 minutes of penalty time. The Hawks were pressuring. Stroh misses, just misses, and then the Hawks having some near misses. The Hawks pulled the goalie at 1:25 because at 1:39 there's a Seattle goal from Jordan Eberle, his 18th of the year from Shan and Gord. And the Hawks pulled the goalie in response, to no avail. They get shut out by one of the worst teams in the league. But that's just how this year's gone. They have 11 games left in the season, and next game, I believe, Dale Talon and Pat Foley will be doing the call for one last time. If anyone remembers in the 80s and maybe early 90s, Dale Talon and Pat Foley did the calls for the Chicago Blackhawks. Dale Talon, of course, was the GM that built the 2010 team, drafted Taves, drafted Kane, got traded for Sharp, traded for Versteeg, traded for Ladd, did all the big moves, I'm not sure if he drafted Bufflin, but he signed Brian Campbell, signed Marian Hossa. That was his last big move before he was fired because he screwed up the free agency stuff, restricted free agent stuff. But yeah, that's really all I have for you guys today. We already talked about teams here. Besides some switches, Anaheim and San Jose switch. They're both out of it. Of course, the Zegras and Terry and then Beagle not being suspended is absolutely ridiculous. Beagle should have been suspended. Oilers and Kings switch places. The Oilers are hitting a high. Toronto moves into second in this division. Boston into third and Tampa into fourth. All of them are really close to each other in points. However, Toronto has 96. I believe Boston and Tampa both have 93. And Toronto, I'm starting to wonder if they play Boston in a series, will they lose this time? My gut says no, but my brain and just looking at the lineups, I say yes. But, there could be inner demons in there, and you never know. Rangers' big win over Pittsburgh last night propels them to 98 points. And this final stretch between Vancouver, Vegas, and Dallas is really heating up. Vancouver beat Vegas in one of the games, and Vegas beat Vancouver in the other. I believe Vancouver plays Dallas soon, as well as Vegas plays Dallas soon. So it's going to be getting pretty heated up here, and the Pacific Division is starting to falter. The Kings are at 86 points. And Vegas has a game in hand on them, and they're at 82 points. So this final stretch of games is going to be pretty interesting to see who gets in the playoffs and who doesn't. But yeah, that's really all I have for you guys today. I shall see you guys next time. Goodbye.